Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Will with ScheduleFly, and I'm stoked today to have actually two people on the phone, and they're brothers, Brent Steven and Brad Steven. They're in Wichita, Kansas, and they own several restaurants: Wine Dive, the Hill Bar and Grill, Wine Dive and Kitchen, and Industry Old Town. And they've been at it as partners, brothers and partners for, gosh, what, about 15 years or so now? Is that right, guys?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
So
14, 15. Yeah, 14, I guess, would be accurate.
You guys came. I did a little research before this. It sounded like you were not the first entrepreneurs in your family. Is that right?
No. Our family is kind of, they got entrepreneurship in their blood, basically. So a lot of businesses.
So you grew up around that, and you all decided, and was it you opened Wine Dive in 2004? Is that about right?
2010, our first establishment, which is no longer open, we opened in 2004.
You opened okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a college bar connected to a comedy club type place.
Okay, got it. And was that your? Were you guys? Had y'all done other stuff prior to that, or was this right out of college, or how did that happen?
Yeah, we really had zero restaurant bar experience. So it was pretty much just, like everybody kind of says, hey, let's open a bar, type thing. And, we like to go out and party, obviously. So we were 22 and 23 years old. So, we just thought, I don't know.
Kind of winged it and learned as we went. Luckily, we were connected to a comedy club, and the owner of the comedy club had a long reign of experience in the bar and restaurant industry. So he took us under his wing a little bit because he knew that if we were successful, it would help him. So we learned a lot from him, but everything was just kind of touch and go and pick it up as we proceeded.
So did y'all? Did you just pull your money together and start that, or did you get investors to help, or what?
Well, luckily we didn't need much up front because the comedy club floated us. They used to own the bar next to them, and they we made payments to them over 3 or 4 years. I don't think they thought we were going to make it, but so yeah, we kind of got lucky. We kind of got into a deal that we didn't need a lot up front, and they kind of let us make payments to them.
Well, okay, so obviously, I'm sure you, through trial and error, it sounds like you learned a lot. You probably had a lot of times that were hard, but you're still at it all these years later. So something must have worked.
We learned pretty quick, what was going to make it and what wasn't. Because you could see. It was basically Brent and I were the owners, the operators, the bartenders, the cooks, the servers. We were doing everything initially, and we were able to see kind of based on our checking account balance what we were screwing up on and what we weren't. And, just to survive, you had to learn pretty quick what you needed to do.
Do you remember some of the things that were the biggest surprises to you back then that you kind of didn't know going into it blind that you figured out pretty quickly?
Probably like theft.
Oh, yeah.
And then theft, and probably actual cost of goods sold. You know what I mean? Like how much that affects, giving away free drinks and all that. So
theft being employee theft?
Yeah. We fired so many people over the years for that.
Close friends even, that we would never expect them to, be shaving a few bucks off a tip or off a bunch of shots. And it was mostly a cash bar, in the beginning. We didn't have real terminals like we do now, and so everyone was pocketing cash.
Did you run that until you opened Wine Dive in 2010?
No. Brent, is that you?
Sorry.
There's a mute button on your phone. I don't know if you knew that.
Getting some ice, man. Pour a cold and all good.
Make it a cocktail.
No. In 2007, we opened up Indigo, which is now called Industry Old Town. And so we did that in 2007. And then 2010 opened up the Wine Dive. And then shortly after that ended up closing our first bar backstage.
Okay,
so yeah, we were essentially more of nightclub guys actually before we got into the restaurant business.
Before you got in the and what caused a shift over to the restaurant business?
Wine was a big interest of ours. It started to be we started to just get really into wine, and food really. You know, the sports bar we started cooking and kind of learned how to cook. You know, as much as possible, and we wanted to do more higher end stuff that would work well with wine. And
we kind of always grew up cooking too with our mom and stuff. I mean, she's a self-proclaimed chef is what she likes to think, but we were always cooking at a young age just with her, especially since we're half Lebanese, half Syrian, so we were always big into the Mediterranean food scene as far as what we like to cook.
Gotcha. And y'all have 4 concepts now. Have y'all done it? I mean, has it just been the 2 of you all along, or do you have other partners, or?
No, it's just us 2.
Yeah.
We're the only, we're 50-50 on all 4 of the businesses, so.
Gotcha.
Makes things a lot less complicated.
Yeah, clean and simple. That's good that you guys have figured out a way to work as siblings and diversify like you have. I mean, is that been like you've got several concepts now? Have you thought about growing one of those concepts, or are you more interested in the creation of new ideas and kind of diversifying what you're doing?
Well, we've kind of, the Wine Dive and Kitchen in Manhattan is kind of
it's a bit of the extension.
There's definitely some similarities.
Okay.
I mean, they both have massive wine lists. Some of the menu items do cross over back and forth. The restaurants look completely different, but there are some similarities, and we definitely want to stick somewhere in that more wine and food realm. We're not really looking to expand the nightclub business by any means, or the sports bar business.
Yeah. Tell me about the scene in Wichita. Has it changed a lot in the last 20 years, the culinary scene, and is it a good, fast growing market? I don't know a lot about Wichita.
Well, Wichita is huge when it comes to dining out.
Okay.
There's a ton of restaurants here. The majority of them are corporate chains. People love to eat out here, but there's starting to be more of a surge in independent restaurants. People are actually starting to pay more attention to the whole local scene. And I think it's definitely changed quite a bit. People are more, breweries are opening up. Everything's moving to more local. We have now, farmers that are supplying eggs and microgreens and various vegetables to restaurants. So that whole thing is starting to move. We're obviously a little late to the game compared to like California and stuff, but we're getting there.
Yeah, but the area is late to the game, but you guys are ahead of the game with being independent restaurant owners in Wichita that have been at it for a while and established good brands and good names for yourselves, which is great. And it's good to see that. I love seeing that. That seems to be happening in a lot of places. People are beginning to recognize that when you support an independent restaurant, you're supporting local people, and your dollars are staying local and being invested locally and hiring people locally, and those
exactly.
are good things. Let me ask you about. I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on that. I mean, obviously chains have some advantages with scale and everything, but like, what are the things that you think are advantages that independent restaurants have?
Well, they have more flexibility. We can reprint a menu in a day.
Yeah.
We can change a menu item in a day. I think the flexibility, not having to answer to a higher power, not having to giving a percentage of your sales to a higher power. I think there's a lot of advantages.
You can make decisions quickly without having to go through a bunch of stuff. I mean, I can't tell you how many managers that we've had work for us that came from corporate that, they just think it's just totally different. I mean, as far as what you can do, creation wise, special wise,
Oh, they're not prepared for that sometimes, or just not used to.
You just can't do certain things.
Yeah.
There's more restrictions.
And there's only, and not just that, there's there's so many restrictions on what kind of product you bring in and what kind of, we have a corporate deal with some massive brand like Yellowtail or Woodbridge, so we can't bring in these small independent wineries in our, things like that.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and the consumers starting to pick up on that a lot more. It sounds like, which is good. Are y'all are you dealing with something that I hear a lot from people in other parts of the country with labor being an issue, finding and keeping good people? Is that a challenge for you guys out there, or is it not so much?
It is. It is. Definitely. I think it's. I mean, every restaurant has its challenges. We have some restaurants like the Wine Dive in Wichita. A good majority of our staff have been there since almost day one. We've definitely maintained it, but there's ups and downs for sure. I mean, in Manhattan, which is more of a college town, servers are coming and going based on the school year. So it's definitely a challenge, especially in front of house and back of house, really.
Has it changed over the years, or has that always been an issue?
I don't know. I feel like we've been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I feel like, if your staff's as far as the front of house, I feel like we're really lucky with that. That just depends, I guess, how busy your restaurant is and how people like management. But back of the house, I feel like can be a struggle for sure. Just because people are, just jumping around and not putting their 2 weeks in, just quitting. You know what I mean? Like it's a little different with back of the house, I feel like.
Well, when you say you're lucky, that's I hear you. That's a humble way to put it, but you guys are clearly doing something right. What's your style? Like, what kind of management style do you guys have? Because clearly, if you're able to keep people that long, you're probably have really good.
I think we're pretty laid back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're younger too, so we can kind of relate to everybody.
Yeah.
That our staff, and I think we're pretty cool bosses. I don't, but then again, they don't want to see us mad either, though.
Yeah, so, right.
We're pretty big on reviews.
Yeah, we're big on reviews. We look at those a lot, and we let the reviews do the talking. We don't really need to yell at a server when they got a bad review. The review pretty much took care of that for us. We'll blast them out over email and let everybody know, hey, this is what happened, and we'll try to get to the bottom of it.
What do you mean by reviews? Are you talking about reviews online or secret shopper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. You guys are
pretty much all the platforms. It doesn't matter which review site it is. We'll look at it.
Okay.
I mean, we get the email the minute the review comes in.
So Yelp and TripAdvisor and all that stuff, you guys are very dialed into keeping
Google.
Okay. Do y'all respond to those, or how do you manage that?
We usually do not, which we've talked about that a lot, whether or not we should or not. I know a lot of companies like to. I think that if there's a really bad one and we want to get to the bottom of it, we might reach out to that person. But we just get so many freaking reviews from all of our companies. I don't know.
It's hard to manage that.
Facebook's a little easier because you actually know who you're talking to.
Okay.
So, it's easy to just, like their review or say, hey, thanks for the review, positive or negative. It's always thank you for the review. But Yelp, I don't really comment back on. Very rarely.
I'm always curious. I mean, there's so many sites now. There's so much stuff going on.
I know.
It seems like it'd be hard to keep. But you guys are paying attention. You're taking most of it. Otherwise, other than ones where you can tell it's just somebody had a bad day, but you're trying to manage through that.
Right.
So, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you tell I mean, do you guys do any mentoring, and do you have people that come to you for advice that, that you have the conversation of, hey, this may look cool and sexy sometimes, but let me tell you what it's really like to own a restaurant? Do y'all ever have those kinds of conversations?
Well,
Yeah, probably.
And I know you love it, but I know there's just so much of that, what it seems like it'd be like and what it's really like. There's sometimes a gap in people's perceptions, I think.
Well, initially, I mean, I think people just don't understand, at least when you're getting started, the demand that's needed of your time. You're not going to be able to hang out with the family on holidays. You're not going to be able to take your girlfriend out on a Saturday night to dinner. There's a lot of a sacrifice, and time is the majority of it. So, I mean, you're putting 60 to 80 hours in.
In the beginning, for sure.
In the beginning, for sure. There's just so many sacrifices in that. It's definitely stressful because there's ups and downs, and especially in the beginning, you're not 100% on point with your food and your service, and so you're trying to balance, customer complaints and make everyone happy, front of house, back of house, customers. There's just a lot of moving parts. You have to be on your game, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, you're putting out fires potentially consistently, or not consistently, but I mean, any day of the year, something can pop up. But it sounds like you guys have got probably a good management team in place now where you're not having to put in quite as much time, although I know you're probably never really, is it hard to ever fully dial out?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we ever really do.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, when we go even when we're out of the country, we're still full blown emailing and doing whatnot. There's not really a dial out, honestly. And I don't understand how it's possible to fully check out unless it's at like 2 a.m. But other than that, yeah, it's not smart to, really.
Yeah, I think when you're in a business, you have to have that mentality for sure. I can relate. We went on I've got 3 kids. We took them on a Disney cruise this past spring break. It's just for a few days, but we just, they said they had Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi sucked. I couldn't check. I was a basket case, to be honest with you. I was trying to keep it from the family, but I was constantly trying to figure out, how do I find out, what if something happened? Like, what the hell do I do? But I think that's a good thing. People say that's crazy. You got to learn, but I think it's good to, if you can find the balance, because it's your baby. It's your, your passion, and it's good to, always have an idea of what's happening and be connected.
You're right. And I think the key word, what you said there, is it's your passion, because if you don't love what you do, then it's easier to just check out,
Yeah.
But if you love what you do, then that's also kind of like your hobby, so you kind of always want to be connected.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you enjoy it, like you actually want to be, because like I hate my business. I want to be gone for a week. It's hopefully it's the opposite, but that's the mentality. And that's probably, honestly, a big part of, what's driven y'all's success is that it is your passion. You love what you do. And, even through all of the rough nights, rough days, people quitting and everything else, it's a roller coaster, but directionally you're always moving forward and figuring out ways to resolve things and move on, because things will always come up.
Definitely.
There's just no way around that. What other things about the restaurant business, things that you see changing, things that you're excited about going forward?
I think technology is crazy, just with the whole integration and tablets, and Open Tables now moved to all tablets, and it's pretty exciting. And then we've had Uber Eats and Grubhub, and that's just a whole nother dimension.
Yeah. Delivery is just freaking crazy right now.
Are y'all doing a lot of that?
We are, yeah.
Yes, we are.
So
why not?
I mean, it's hard not to turn. It's hard to turn down the extra money.
No, I'm sure. I mean, so you figured out a way to prepare and package the food so that somebody can come pick it up and take it, and it's still hot and consistent and all that. I mean, that's you've been able to figure out a way to do that?
Yes, I mean we've always done carry out, so
It's just not much different, I
just
guess.
not on this level of magnitude, you know. So we just had to step it up more and refigure out what we're going to do for to-go boxes and things like that to make sure they're still functional but yet affordable. But yeah, I think just technology as a whole has been kind of the coolest thing that's been happening. Just having your beer menu put online that we have at the Hill, people can look at it on Untapped on Tap Hunter and Untapped, and it's just all the technology. There's just so much going on, and how do you utilize it? But it's fun. It's fun learning about it.
I bet it is. I mean, are people? Let me ask you. So for Uber Eats and things like that, are people eating out less, or are they just eating out the same amount plus ordering in more? What have y'all seen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think people are eating out. I think people are just being lazy.
Yeah, why bother going out? I just want the food. Yeah, exactly.
Especially I went to an office the other day. One of our cousins has an insurance business, and he said all of his staff gets more delivery. He says the door is always opening and closing with delivery people coming in and out of his office.
Really?
Because the staff doesn't even want to go out. They'd rather eat at their desk, and it's crazy.
See, those are the jobs where you kind of go, man, I would hate that. Oh,
right,
and sitting in
that
an
job,
office and you kind of
sure.
need to get out, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Well, I'm curious. I've always wondered how that would go down if people would just for us, for my family, I feel like we would still eat, we still want to eat out when we want to eat out, but then it's nice sometimes to, if you don't have, don't feel like cooking, you can have something brought to your door.
People are probably just cooking less at home.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Because the restaurants still seem to be just as busy in terms of people that are dining in.
Okay.
It's probably like, I don't want to cook dinner. Let's just Uber Eats.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. It's an interesting time for sure. Are y'all do you have plans to continue opening other places, or what's on the horizon?
Well, yeah. We're actually in the process right now opening up one, and we'll be done by the end of this year. It's a different concept. It's more of a European wood fire pizza oven concept. So we're still going.
Do you travel a lot to get ideas, or how to something like that? How do you come up with that?
Yeah, this. We a lot of it is travel, either in the States or in Europe. I've been to France twice this year, and not just in Paris. I've kind of made my way through the country. So definitely picking up ideas and taking as many pictures as possible, following people from there on Instagram and whatnot, and just kind of learning as much as you can to get kind of inspiration, so to speak.
Gotcha. Well, guys, man, congrats on the success, and just appreciate you taking the time to out of your day to share, and appreciate the chance to serve y'all, and stoked to see what you're doing, man. I'm a fan. It's awesome. I love seeing it, and I hope you guys continue to do really well.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it, and yeah, we'll definitely get with you on add another account towards the end of the year.
Happy to do it. We're always around.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for the time, and around anytime if you need anything, and I'll let you go, but really appreciate y'all doing this.
No worries.
Sounds good.
Man.
All right, take care.
You too.